Hi, and welcome again to another video here on TryHackMe. We're gonna do the room called File Inclusion in this video. It was a viewer's suggestion, and the viewer suggested me to use Burp Suite, particularly about something about a post HTTP request. Now, I'm not sure exactly which it is at the moment, but let's just get started and let's see if we didn't hit it. So the introduction is basically all about what is file inclusion, and it shows you this picture here where it tells you about some domain name that got some sort of PHP file in this particular case, and you can see there is a get parameter or a URL variable, what you can call it, called file, and it's being equal to user cv.pdf. Now, this user CV PDF is being loaded from somewhere, and in this particular case it is probably something that is on the disk because there is no HTTP in front of it. Now, what can be done in this particular case here is take this query string, or the parameters, whatever we're gonna call it, and also the value for your discretion. And that will then enable you to include something different, let's say any other file that could be interesting to include. So this is what this picture kind of show you, that instead of user CV, you could write something like var app and then go directly to the application and then load the user cv.pdf. Anyways, you could also do slash maybe, or dash slash slash. For the slash is going one back, basically meaning that you are doing a path traversal, so you're going backwards into the file structure that is represented right here. Now, I don't know if this is the correct file structure we're going to check out. This is a medium room, so it should take something to get it done. I did start the machine, so let's just click the button. Why do file inclusion vulnerability happen? Well, basically it happens whenever the programmer is not validating the input. It should always validate input. It also has a not sanitized and not validated, which is of course exactly what happens when you just, include stuff. The risk is basically you can get any file from the hard disk on the server. And of course it depends a lot depending on which user you are on the server and what kind of rights you get. So we deployed the virtual machine, as you can see here, and it should be what is this? Oh, it's different labs. So I guess when we open this page in a new page, let me just close some of this. Yeah, it showed me this. So this is our lab, it would seem. So let's go back to the deploy it. So nothing much to say about this deployment. Path traversal. Now, we did talk about it already. This is when you do the the periods, period, but dot is easier to say than period, but this is an actual period, the dot, yeah. So you do dot slash, and you go back, and then you try and read something from the etc folder, for example, the password file, to see, sometimes you can get actual, hashes from it if it's really lazy admin, but also you can see the users to expect. So I don't know if we need to do something, but what does it talk about? Yeah, it basically just talks about how you should see this in your mind with this image. So yeah, then if this is the particular, are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? It doesn't seem like it. Well, no matter. So it does talk about this function here called file get content, which is a very standard, PHP.NET, isn't it? File get contents, and you basically see that this is a standard function that reads entire file, and pay attention to the word entire. it's everything. So you read any file and just basically output that to well, like any, it's like remote stuff or local stuff, doesn't really matter. Now, so that is the actual answer to the question down here below. If I'm not mistaken, I've got a pretty quick glance at it, so let me just put it in. So there's a suggestion here about different places you can try and include to get stuff. Now, if you can get the shadow file, you you will be happy, because then you basically have all the hashes, and then you can just start brute forcing. Sometimes, this is also a really interesting part. It doesn't necessarily have to be root. It can be any user, which is why it's really important to get the password file, because it has all the registered users that have access to the system in the file. By that, you can just replace the root word with different users, and then try and look for this particular standard library where the SSH keys are. So let's go to the so this is a particular case. It's PHP. Let me just zoom a bit on this. You can see that it does something like include, and include will also include stuff, but it will include stuff that is reachable from the how can I tell it? Maybe there's actually a text here saying what I'm looking for the word, but it will include whatever is reachable. So and it says something about the PHP code above uses a GET requests to include the file from web page. It can be called blah blah blah. So yeah, basically anything that is reachable, and I guess that kind of settles that. So we got a question here. Give Labner wanna try and read etc password file. What would the request would be? So it kind of wants me to add a dot. Is that because is this a? Do they want? Oh, it's because they want me to have it from the. No, they don't. Lab1 dot what? That's kind of interesting. What is that dot for? Lab1. Oh, it's probably because they want me to add like a whole string thing. So yeah, okay. So Lab1. Let's just do a test here and and wherever you see stuff like that, you notice that it says warning, file inclusion, failed to open stream, no such directory. Now we have the path, and it says file1 equal test. So we can try something like etc password, and now this is gonna fail. Oh, actually redirected from the root. Interesting. I thought we need to do something like // but anyways, we got it. So the answer would probably be this to the actual test. Yeah. The hint was it's fine. So in lab 2, what is the directory specified in the include function? I'm not really sure what it means. Let me just go to have a look. And I will remember doing the post thing that you asked for. Let's do test again. What is the what? What is the directory specified in the include? Oh. Directory. Is it includes they mean? I'm not exactly sure what they wanted to post. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, sometimes you're just gonna read the questions like, what do they mean? Because we all different, understand things differently. So now I'm gonna go to part number 2 of local file inclusion. It's got we got a little bit deeper into local file inclusion, discussed a couple techniques to bypass the filter within the include function. Well, did we? In the first cases, we checked the code for web app and blah blah blah. So in this particular case, it looks like that. I'm just trying not to read all the text because, oh yeah, you can include the null byte thing. So if you have some code, for example, that appends this, which in this case here it does, it appends the .php, then you can, with a null byte, kinda tell it to ignore it in a way. So that would be looking something like this here. Just write the normal thing you're gonna write, and then %00, which is a null byte. Null byte is something that's gonna take a while to explain, but it is basically just a way for the file system or the file descriptor to stop reading, and it's gonna just end up with unpredictable results. And that's probably the easiest way to say it. Or ignore the rest. This could be a way to say it. So I guess, yeah, also sometimes you have to do double slashes because there's some function looking for slashes or something. It's a lot of different cases, and it doesn't cover all of them here, but some of them are mentioned that it's really good. So try out lab 5, but doesn't it say lab 3 first? Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick to answering the questions because not really sure. Give lab 3 a try to read ECC password. What does the request look like? So it wants you to do this lab 3 dot whatever, and then dot slash and probably an null byte. So let's just go to lab 3, just write test, and then the top here, and in the we're gonna do something like dot slash, and then etc password, and then %00. And in this particular case, we got it again. If we remove the null byte in the bottom, we're not gonna get anything, so we need the null byte, as you can see. So the answer to all of this is gonna be that. Alright, so which function is causing the directory traversal in lab number 4? So let's go to lab number 4, write test one more time, and this is file get contents, it would seem, in this particular case. So let's go to the, paste it in, yeah. Try lab 6, check what is the directory that has to be in the, what the fly, go away. Try out lab 6 and check what is the directory that has to be, it doesn't make sense right now. I'm also a little tired, so labs, did it say 6? It did, alright, so I don't know, test one more time. Access denied, allowed files at image profile folder only. So let me see if you can understand this question one more time. Try out lab 6 and check what is the directory that has to be in the input field. What is the directory that has to TMH profile? It kind of said it right there. No, I'm gonna stick with this. It seems like that is the answer. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Try out lab 6 and read etcos release. What is the version ID? So I don't know what they probably gonna hint, but oh yeah, we know that. So let's take not really sure what to write here, but we could try something like, you know, / and just press enter. We're gonna also try to add the null bind just to try all in our arsenal, and this is access denied. Allow files at TMH folder only, so we could probably put that in front, I assume. And then by putting that in front of it, it kind of, you know, this is a code thing, you know. And if you're a programmer, you should probably see the code in front of you right now. That is kind of like its statement if the first argument of this file value is this particular name, then boom, you have it. So the version is 12.40. Alrighty, so now we have remote file inclusion. Is that just a ready thing? It's a ready thing. So remote file inclusion is basically the same, you know. I guess this picture should do it. So we do something like that, you know. It's being read from the, you know, remote, some HTTP service, you know, web server, whatever, and whatever is inside the file called cmd.txt, you know, it's going to be interpreted, you know, in this particular case with this code, and the machine will read it, and because it's PHP, it will allow that this is going to be probably executed in this particular case, and that's really bad. So now that we read something about this, let's go to task number 7. Is there anything more to do? Oh yeah, there's a challenge. Okay, really good. So remediation as a developer. So it kind of tells you what to do, and I think that is for you to read, not really me, because I'm not a developer, but I have been. I just quit it for many years ago because I got tired of the same task over and over again. So great job now that you have a technique you learned, blah blah blah. So let's see, capture the flag. Where? Capture flag at etc flag 1, but which make sure you have the VM attached. Okay, oh, it's just, let me just open this then. So we got some challenges and oh, that is quite confusing. Let me just put it right here. So challenge number 1. This is a post parameter. Challenge number 2. Okay. And challenge number 3. I don't know which challenge is those 4 questions. Anyways, let's assume that. I'm not sure. I don't know. Let's just take this here. Let's post this to burp. So I use Foxy Proxy, by the way. Installed this. So I direct all traffic to burp, and then I have burp open already. You know, I just press intercept on, and then I capture something like test. It's being posted into burp in this particular case, and you can see that this is, you know, funny, it's a get request. So let's just add this to the repeater. So we save it and we forward the next one here. And this next part is not really sure, but it's something to Google, so I'll just forward this. And over at the repeater, it kinda gave us a get request. Now, can I zoom on this just a tad? That would be really good. Doesn't look like it. Project options. Oh wow. No. User options. Configuration library. I don't know how to zoom on this, so I'm just gonna, for the sake of this video, just, you know, copy paste it out. And this is a get request, but it's not a post request, just to be clear about this. So what does it say? The input form is broken. You need to send post requests with file parameters. And it does seem like that it's also broken in the in the HTML. So what I really want to do is just open the, you know, the inspector pretty fast. I can zoom on that and then, you know, press anywhere just to get it focused, and then you can basically just alter this to post. You know, it doesn't really, that's about it, I would guess. So we could just take this etc flag 1 here, and just for the sake of burp, let's go back to that and intercept on, and then say include. And now you see that since we changed it, we got a perfectly, you know, configured post request. Let's send that to the repeater, forward the rest. We kind of got the flag there, so let me just take this and paste it in. Well, that's the first one. I kinda assume that this is on challenge number 3. Oh yeah, okay, so it says playground. Okay, so this is probably challenge number 2 then. So this particular example with burp, we just captured the request and didn't really do anything with it, but we could have, if you wish to see the difference, you copy paste out, you know. I'm just gonna do this for you now, and there we go. No. So this is, copy pasting is really difficult sometimes. Come on, please. Thank you. This is the post request. Now, as you see when I change, it's more or less the bottom and the top that is different. It is the same, but the value is being put down in the bottom when it's a post request, and you should change that to post. That's really it, you know. That's how the post request is created. There's nothing in all the other headers that does it or create it to a post request. So that is just the way to do it. So we're gonna go back to challenge number 2, and it says welcome guests, and so I'm gonna check my cookies as the hint said, just to get this part done. And go to storage, and we can see that it says guest as a value. Now if I write, for example, admin here, I'm just assuming it's something stupid, so gonna, yeah. So I have it right here, and it says welcome admin. Now I was not really sure what it wants to do. It wants me to read the etc flag, so it is basically somewhere we got some value we can edit. In a way, I'm just seeing what we have here, just pretty fast. So that's it. This is the only thing we have. And it says include failed to open string of such file directory. And that is because the shell number 2 PHP file on line number 37 is trying to include admin. So if I change this to that and update it, it directly say includes etc flag whatever. So if I, for example, just trying to put something on the top now, I have 2 slashes. Just a second. There we go. Can I please get it? Thank you. Now we deleted that. It says that it appends this PHP there, so we can see we need a null byte, so 0%. And now that is fixed, and then we have a includes. Not really sure if it means we could try a few more, and now that we have it, we got the flag. So we post it, and now we're gonna capture the flag on number 3, which is website users request to access. And request is a method in PHP that is both get and post and put and whatever. It's everything. So we're gonna try and get this flag from lab number 3. So let's go and check it out. So let's just put in whatever value it needs and say it's. So this is the value we put in, and it's basically, let me try with 2 slashes now, and it removes it. So let's just try a lot of flashes just to see if there's any difference at all. No. So it would seem that we need some sort of other way of accessing this particular file on the system. So I suggest we're gonna do the same thing here. We just take the request, record it with burp. It's always good to record with burp and just send it. This is the request. It's being sent as a get request, so I send it to repeater. It doesn't matter. And I'm not really sure if we need to do this. The thing with the request method is that it's gonna try and get the value whatever we have. So let me just alter this to post. Let's see, warning. It's difficult to see, but can I render? Yeah, we can see that we got .php, And what a lot of slashes that there is right there. And something is wrong here. What is this? I think I'm just gonna close them all now. Just start it over because I think I'm confused there. So just test, send this. My mouse is having a little issue with drivers. So let's see, send to repeater, forward. Doesn't matter. This is the repeater. It's flag number 2 cookie. That's odd. Oh yeah, I remember that. That's something we did because it saved the remembers the cookie value from earlier here. So I guess we can just ignore that for now. So what I kind of suspect is that we're gonna write post here. Let me just take this to a bigger screen, and then basically just append the dot slash dot slash, and then do the etc flag what 3, and then do null by. This is what I suspect it's all about. Let me just post that in and send it and render. And it kind of didn't do it this particular case. Yeah. So what we kind of forgot here is that this is a post request. So we're going to take the value down here and put it in the bottom. This is just how post works. You need to add that question mark anymore. And then send it one more time. And not really sure what we got. Didn't get an error or anything. No errors. So what we could try now is to append on the extra double, as I mentioned, sometimes you remove like having extra slashes. That could be a case here, and also double dots, in a way, and just try to see if this is gonna give you anything different. Sometimes it works, other times is this zeros? It is zeros. So we'll just do more slash, see if we can get something. So it doesn't really seem to be eating that either. So what I suspect now is that we're just gonna, ditch this request here, and then go to the lab, open inspector, zoom a bit, pick the form, and just alter it again to post, because I still have a pretty big hunch that this is a request thing. So let's do test, record the request, add this to repeater, and just skip it from there. And we don't need this cookie. So what we're gonna do here is basically dot slash slash etc flag 3 and then a null byte. And it gave me something different this time. So we got a flag called, so sometimes it is just better to change it directly compared to try and copy What? Copy. Send off. Yeah. And then the last one here is gain remote code execution in the playground. So let's go and there we go. Alright, so we are to finish the last part here on the last task, and as you can see, I already answered it with the flag. That's because yesterday night I had to break the video up in two, and it was the last one, and it was just very inconvenient, but it is the way it is. So the way we're gonna get this remote code execution is, if you remember, we read before something about hosting a file with PHP code on our own server, which basically results to starting up a Python server on our machine. So what I'm talking about is basically, it's actually still running there, that we create a file called whatever, like test.txt with some PHP code in it. We are tasked to execute the command called, to execute a command that will give us the host name. And in PHP, that is the exe host name, or exec host name. And this is the script we have saved in a text file, as you can see. Now, what then we're going to do is host it just directly on the machine of ours with Python, for example, so we have a web server running. And then we can basically just go to the lab and say HTTP and write your IP address of your own machine. And this is the file name, and when I press enter now, you will see that we include whatever file with the code, and we execute some code on it, and this is how we get the flag. So basically, you read about that in the, I think it was remote file inclusion, sorry, where you had this sort of thing here talking about you could host something on, well, basically anywhere. It is just easier to host it on your own machine while hacking on TryHackMe, because you have Python there already on Linux Kali, and that kind of gives you this advantage. So remote and local file inclusion is basically all about knowing the file system structure and verifying what kind of, I think this is the picture, verifying your access downwards in the system, what can you get from the system, what can you grasp. And the remote file execution is the one here where you try to include something remotely into the actual server that you are trying to attack. In this particular case, it was PHP, and PHP is really easy to misuse because it's such an easy language to execute commands on, because of the way it's being coded. It's an interpreted language, it's a script language. It is not something you compile, for example, so there's many things you can do as opposed to other languages. But I guess this is it for this video, and once again, I just really hope you liked the video, and thank you for the shout out, you that told me to do this video on Facebook. In respect to privacy, I don't mention any names, but thank you, I did it. It was a fun room. If any of you got some more rooms that you want me to do, just give me a shout out and I will look at it. So until next time, have a real nice day.